All right, welcome everybody. Today we have a webinar with our good friends from Tribevest. Travis Smith is here today to kind of give an update. We've been working with Travis and team a lot, trying to figure out different ways to work with Tribevest going into 2024, and we think we got some great solutions to help get the community back involved with Tribevest again and everything else. So we've got some new information to share. So we brought Travis on to uh, give that information to us in our webinar today. So Travis, thanks for being here. As always, we appreciate the support.
Chad, thank you for having me. And of course, yeah, just proud to be a part of the community here. And thanks for this opportunity. As Chad mentioned, it's been an awesome ride from the very beginning. Proud to say Tribevest has been there since the very beginning. And throughout, we've done a lot of innovating together in the industry. And last year we launched a whole new service, and it was inspired by Jim, who was insistent that he didn't want to, do a lot of the work around being a tribe founder. And we completely got that, especially seeing how he's up to about 15 or so tribes. And we're all about scale. We're all about scale. So what that did is it really challenged us to see, could we build a product that enabled people to scale to not just 15, but 30, etc. So anyway, it's been a great journey. Last year we launched version 1. And now we're excited to talk about version 2 and kind of share with you the entrepreneurial journey that we've been on.
Perfect.
All right. Excellent. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, all good.
Okay. So we got a lot to get through. So I'm gonna just jump right in. This session is intended to be an overview of the Tribevest services that are exclusive to LFI. Now we'll talk about some of the other offerings, but the two main ones that we're going to talk about are exclusive to LFI, and that's important that we cover that. And as I mentioned in the startup here, that we're evolving, we're bringing the next versions of what we had done last year. So really excited to share this with you. Quick disclaimer: we are not attorneys or CPAs, and none of this should be taken as advice. What we're going to go through here is a quick run through. First, I'm gonna just do a quick update to address the community. We'll do a high level product overview, then we'll dive right into the main subject, which is Open Tribe for LFI, Open Tribes for LFI. We'll talk about how that has opened up this opportunity for what we're calling is the Pro Tribe for LFI. We'll do a real quick refresher on our standard tribes, and then really excited to announce a new product offering. Just a real quick tease there, not to distract from the main purpose of this session. And then we'll have a little time for Q&A if appropriate. So thanks for the opportunity here to address the LFI community. As I mentioned, we've been here since the very beginning. I'd like to think I was a little bit of the seed planter with Jim and the founding team, and it's just been awesome to be there every step of the way. And wanted to share my gratitude, appreciation for this community. It's a huge part of our journey. LFI is a huge part of our story, always will be. And so wanted to show the respect and give you guys a quick little update here on Tribevest. As we think about 2023, we had a huge product shift. We just talked about that. It was inspired by LFI. What started with this open tribe idea, and that has led to what is a pro tribe, and now a whole nother solution that we call our fund-to-fund SPV tribe. And it's fundamentally transformed and changed our business and has put us in just a phenomenal position. But you can imagine all the change organizationally, mindset, distribution, everything else. So it's been a year of transition, exciting but difficult nonetheless. In September, we had a really difficult challenge with our banking partner, and many of this community were impacted by it. So we're very proud of how we responded to it, but it didn't change the fact that it made it very difficult on those that were impacted. We had a few account closings that were unknown, and that was just disruptive. Of course, we were proud of how we responded to it, but we understand that was a real difficult time and challenge, and appreciate those that kind of went through that challenge with us, and are continuing to now enjoy the services of Tribevest. So just acknowledging a really kind of difficult moment there in the third quarter, and then another thing that has been a challenging thing this year is the financing in the venture market. So unique to most markets, it's always kind of its own market, is the venture capital market, and they're about as difficult as they've been in the last few decades. So what that did is it forced Tribevest to kind of delay our next round of financing, and ultimately reducing our staff and resources, and that's been difficult as well. But it has made us more efficient, and we're in a wonderful position now to work and grow. In fact, all while this was happening, Tribevest was growing sales at a growth rate that we had never experienced before, and really ended the year with some historic numbers and historic growth numbers. And those of you that are investors, thanks for your patience on the updates. They will be coming here this week, but really excited about how we ended the year and what it set us up for in 2024. Thank you for sticking with us through the tough times, and thank you. It's paying off. We're doing it. So we just really value you and appreciate it. Again, challenging year, but really exciting at the same time. It's kind of a strange thing to talk about, but the truth is the Tribevest fundamentals have never been stronger, and we're in an awesome position to get up to the levels of service and that we strive to have, and get to a world-class level as we build this billion-dollar business over the next few years. All right, so let's skip right now to the product overview, a real high level here. So a little bit of our journey. We built the platform, we built the banking infrastructure and technology, which has enabled our standard tribes, if you will, the group investing masterminds. That's really what everybody's been so familiar with Tribevest, and there's hundreds of those that have come from the LFI network, and those are what we call as our standard tribes, and continue to be a big part of our business. When Jim challenged us to create this open tribe, this founderless tribe, it forced us to go out and build different business processes that were required, that were usually fell on the responsibility of the tribe founder or manager. And so we did. We went out and built these different processes, and that's a little bit of how these things progress. So real quick, high level, standard DIY tribe. If you come down here to the features, we do formation. It's all in one place. Operating agreement creation, banking, onboarding, cap table, operational tools, and it's $348 a year. Of course, any other services are a la carte, albeit way less expensive than anywhere else out in the market. When we launched the Open Tribe, what we did was we had to add these other business processes and services. So the big one was no required champion or no required founder or manager. We added an extra layer of account management, and then we are facilitating and doing auto distribution. So as that one distribution check comes in from the sponsor, Tribevest platform and account management will distribute that to the members based on their equity ownership and cap table. And then another big kind of ongoing challenge is the K1. So we built that into the services as well. And then once the investment is done, and we will also dissolve the entity, zip up all the records, send it out to all the members for everybody's records and filing cabinets. So and we're doing that all for $150. I don't think it's probably hard to appreciate just everything that comes with that $150 per person per year. If you talk to anybody that's a tax professional or has managed groups or funds or anything like that, they would tell you that $150 per person, covers, the K1s, right? So, here we are offering all these services for this cost, and we're really proud of what we put together. And the key here is that it's safe, it's turnkey, and scalable. So you can do lots of these. You can do lots of them. All right, so let's dive into the Open Tribe. So what you see here is what it takes to set up a Open Tribe, and what you have here are the different steps, right? So you have pre-launch management, which means like getting the investors' commitments and interest. You have Tribevest management, account management, LLC formation, opening up the business bank account, onboarding your members, signing the sponsor docs, and wiring the funds. So all these things, that starting from the kind of the bottom up, Tribevest check. Tribevest check on the onboarding, Tribevest check on the business banking, LLC formation. And really what the innovative thing here is, we're coming in and being the manager of the Open Tribe. Now, we talked at the beginning about the evolution of Open Tribes. We talked about last year being V1, this being V2. What we ran into was the challenges that come with launch without having a champion, without having a founder, right? So we've made group investing 10 times easier, but it still wasn't quite easy, right? Meaning somebody had to come with some energy and ownership to be able to gather the commitments, get to a confidence level, and then start the tribe, right? Well, that was one thing that we just didn't master last year with the Open Tribe. It was every webinar came with a Open Tribe, and we just opened up the Open Tribe, And there was this expectation that if I signed up for the Open Tribe, that it was going to go, and there was and that was just kind of the expectation. Well, the problem where it broke down was if we didn't get to a certain threshold. So, for example, if the deal or the operator had $100,000 minimum, well, the minimum for the Open Tribe would be 100,000, and if we came up at 90,000, then all of a sudden the tribe was, not going to go. And again, just disappointment and frustration from everybody, all stakeholders. So we got together with the LFI management, had some great productive sessions. We agreed that it's a huge value to the community. It's unique to the market. No one else out there really has this kind of opportunity to participate in so many different deals. And the solution has become that up front, where it's every deal will have the opportunity to have an Open Tribe. And so what's that mean? It means that with each deal webinar, there'll be a way that LFI will circulate interest. So who is interested in doing an Open Tribe, gaining those investor commitments before launching, right? And that gives everybody this idea that we're all in this together, and for this to go, we all have to lean in, raise our hand and say that we are interested. We're not only interested, but we'll come in for this much if the Open Tribe goes. So the big difference here is where Tribevest was really struggling with that piece of this equation, and a critical piece of the equation. LFI is now coming in with all their new technology and their team, and we'll have kind of what that looks like. It's not going to be anything like big whiz bang, but it will be simple and it will work, and everybody will know where everybody stands. So that's the big V2 version of this, and we're really excited about it, so we can continue to offer this service to the LFI community. And again, you'll see we have all these services, Tribevest launch onboarding specialists, auto distributions, document management, member customer service, tax records, K1 creation, dissolution services. And again, just calling out the enhancement with the pre-launch investor commitment management. And then also on the ongoing base, right? I think this was where Jim mainly ran into this. It's not a huge effort to kind of launch a tribe. It's not a huge, effort to get it going. But when you have, 5, 10, 15 different tribes, and all of them have distributions, and there's all these other ongoing things, taxes, that becomes quite a job for that fund manager or tribe manager or founder or champion. And included in the Open Tribe services are these ongoing services where we'll do the automatic distributions. K1s come in, we'll create the K1s for all the members. So going forward, how it will work. So this is for the Open Tribe. Every deal webinar is Open Tribe eligible, right? So notice just the subtle difference, but big difference. Before, every tribe was an open. Every deal webinar had an Open Tribe, open, right? Well, every deal webinar, every deal that comes through LFI's webinar series will be Open Tribe eligible. And what that means, again, is that LFI will measure the interest in investor commitment levels. And again, nothing fancy. It will just be a simple form where you go in and say, yeah, there's $100,000 minimum to get in here. I'd love to be able to participate in this for $25K, right? That's a classic scenario where the Open Tribe is so valuable, right? So investors will submit their interest in commitments via a form managed by LFI. And then, I think another enhancement here is the window of opportunity to submit that interest or investment commitment. It's going to remain open a little longer. The way we were doing it before, and how we were trying to solve that, start that interest challenge part, that pre-launch challenge, was we created a 5-day window. So from the time the deal webinar went live, to 5 days later, everybody had to submit their interest. And, as we know, a lot of people weren't on the live event. They watch it later in the evening or over the weekends, and then they get to dive into the deal, and they get to call the investor relations person from the deal. And a lot of times they didn't have enough time to do that. So another enhancement to the V2 Open Tribe for LFI is that there will be a longer window for you to come in and assess and then make your commitment. Once the investor commitment levels are reached, Tribevest will spring into action. So kicking off the LLC, the bank account, the member onboarding. So all that back office heavy lifting stuff, as soon as it's a go, Tribevest is coming in with a lot of enthusiasm, taking the ball and running with it. Tribevest account management takes over from there. What do these timelines look like? So I think of the pre-launch as week 0, right? That's from the time that the webinars are published to the investor commitment levels being reached. So that's all pre-launch, right? And then what I think of as week 1, and again, where Tribevest springs into action, is once those levels are hit, Tribevest sets up the entity, the EIN, the banking, everything's set up. And then in week 2, onboarding of the members. Again, Tribevest onboarding specialists coming in, helping everybody sign the operating agreement, wire the funds, etc. And then really week 3 is, technically you could do this in two weeks, but the key there is that all the members are signing the docs, wiring the funds. At that time, Tribevest will go sign the docs, the subscription docs, on behalf of the Open Tribe, and wire the funds to the deal investment ahead of their deadline. Wow. All right. Hey, I'm going to stop for just a second here. I'm going to do a time check. And Chad, if you're still there, hey, how are you?
Hey.
So the plan here is to keep going and talk about our Pro Tribe offering as well. That's exclusive to LFI. Okay. But I thought this would be a nice opportunity to just pause and get your thoughts and maybe just have a little discussion around the Open Tribe.
Yeah, and I should have mentioned up top, for those that are on live, please feel free to dump questions in Q&A if you have some questions for Travis or myself about this process. My comments, I think this is great. We really like the Open Tribe model. The community really liked it. We get that it was a first iteration and there are pain points from it. What I love that we saw from the collaboration that we had together is we fixed some pain points on both sides, that we made this a little easier for engaging Tribevest, which is great, so we don't waste your time. But we also took the opportunity to expand the timeline of when this was open so people could do their due diligence and still decide to get in. So I love that we came up with some win-wins in all of this. I will say, I'll throw in the disclaimer now of, in typical left field fashion, we are making this up as we go a little bit. So there'll be some iterations of how we implement, but understand we're going to try to get this up and going in January. Honestly, right now, we don't have any deal webinars on the calendar, so it's a good time to be implementing this. But we'll probably add more bells and whistles as we get it implemented and go. There's a kind of a holy grail of where we'd like to get this to with some really nice bells and whistles, but we're going to probably just try to implement and get this going so we can get Open Tribes back up and going as well. But what you'll probably see from our side, we're trying to keep this very similar to what the Open Tribe model worked like last year, that there'll be kind of a soft commit form that you would fill out, very similar information. There's probably fewer questions, because we used to ask if you were going to invest direct or not. We're not going to worry about that now. So it'll be very similar process and information that we asked in 23. And we will be opening that soft commit as soon as it's released, as soon as the webinar is released, and then it'll probably stay open until about a week before the funding date from the operator is devised. So that will define our timeline that we're working with. And then we'll just see how the different iterations. But the other win that we're going to come up with that was kind of a gap on our end before, we're going to be displaying the interest level that there is in a tribe. So it'll be generic. We want to show the number of people that have shown interest and the dollar value that they've shown so people can track how is this progressing from an investment standpoint into the tribe. Maybe the bell and whistle later will be that we can get the total left field commitment or interest. But to start with, we're going to at least show what the tribe interest is so people can get a feel for have we met the new standards or the thresholds that we need to have a tribe be a go or a no-go kind of thing. So hopefully all that just builds more transparency for the community, for Tribevest, for left field leaders, that, a lot of the questions we fielded were, how's it coming along? How many people are in there kind of thing. We're hoping this will solve some of those questions and make it more efficient for everybody involved. So very excited that we were able to collaborate in that way and get to a better tool, I think, for everybody's sake. So thank you, Travis.
I agree, Chad. Awesome. Really great to hear your perspective. And as I think about what's happened here, it is exciting. Two things I think happened. One, I think we really simplified it. I think we really simplified it. And that's going to help with setting expectations and understanding from everybody. As I think about the investors that have this awesome service, and I feel like I missed that over the beginning here. This is an awesome, unique service, right? First of all, you're part of LFI. We know what that means. And just to be around like-minded, access to these people and resources. But one of the great things they do, they have deal flow coming in from the best sponsors out there with the best deals, and they're bringing these webinars, right? And most of us can't invest in all of them, right? So what's unique about LFI, and it is unique about LFI, they're offering a turnkey service where you can now come in and invest underneath that minimum, so you can participate in more deals and maybe try out a new sponsor for the first time or a new asset class. So it's an incredible service. It deserves to exist. And really proud about how LFI and Tribevest has come together. We've simplified it. And I think the other thing we did, Chad, is we separated it. If I really think about it, it was the deal webinar, and there was, investor, you're going to invest directly, you're going to invest in the tribe, you got the community threshold goal, you got the minimum, threshold goal to invest as a tribe or individual. And I think simply by separating a lot of this stuff and focusing on what is the Open Tribe product service for the investor, they've got to be thinking, thank you. Right. I just want to know what this is and what my expectations should be. So really, really proud about what we're coming up with here.
Yep, I agree.
Awesome.
Cool. So I don't see any questions out there yet. Yeah, if you want to keep rolling, we're halfway through the hour, so you've got plenty of time still too if you want.
Great. I'll keep on trucking then.
Sounds good.
But that will kind of wrap up the Open Tribe portion of this, and we can come back to it. But hopefully this will provide a nice overview, and maybe we can do a little bit of edit so it's a little tighter. But all right. So as I mentioned, right, Open Tribes, inspired by Jen and team, and we just talked about all the benefits of that, right? The ability to come in and in a turnkey way Without having to be the manager, you can participate in these open tribes. And as you can kind of tell, for that to be pulled off, it needs to be a very tight process, right? So, and that's what we just detailed. We detailed how we're able to pull off pro tribes. Well, one of the things that a couple of the requirements of the open tribes, pardon me, is number one, it needs to be for a single purpose. So, and it has to be into a real estate syndication. So one deal, per open tribe, right? And that's true for the pro tribes too, right? So by making it that simple and that tight in this box, we're able to deliver these things, right? So so we took that and we said, well, the other thing about the open tribes is it had to be part of an existing system, right? Because remember, we're replacing the manager. And so it had to be a part of the deal webinar, right? So a deal webinar was a trigger, kicks it off, and that's how we managed it. So now the question became, well, what if I wanted to do a more turnkey, high service tribe, but it's not a deal that's coming through the deal webinar, right? And, again, just highlighting how awesome LFI is. In the LFI community, there's a bunch of channels. You're talking about deals, you're finding deals, you're all out there. I mean, that's the power of the network, of the community. And when one of the members brings a new deal, the community is excited about it. Like that's what the whole idea is. So when a deal is surfaced to the LFI community that's not in the deal webinar series, how can we still make doing a tribe really easy? And the answer is a pro tribe. And again, the pro tribe we offer in two scenarios, right? So you can't come to our Tribevest website and buy a pro tribe. You can get it two ways. One through our exclusive operating and lead partner sponsors that we work with, and then two through the LFI community. So that's it. All right. So pro tribes for LFI. Again, here, if you see this, we talked about the standard DIY, everything that comes with it. What was with the open tribe, and basically, as far as a feature and function thing, the only big difference is there is a champion that's required, right? The open tribe deal webinar is for LFI deal webinars only, and the pro tribe for LFI is for any deal, but only for LFI members. Okay. All right. So just like before, but the big difference is, remember how we talked about we had LFI kind of making sure that we were managing the open tribe pre-launch, getting that interest, getting to a certain threshold, and now that's not LFI's services. That is where the tribe champion comes in. And again, this is important. We're the experts on understanding tribe dynamics when it comes to investing together. And I can tell you, the open tribe is a very difficult tribe to pull off because of how essential it is to have one initiator, right? One person that's leading it. Now, you're going to learn Tribevest makes it so easy. I mean, for that LFI member, for that champion, but it is required for this pro tribe offering. So they're responsible for circulating a soft commit form, which, by the way, Tribevest will provide. But that LFI member is is the one that's responsible for gaining that interest, gaining those commitments from the LFI membership. And again, we're going to show you how easy we make this, but that LFI member is taking on a champion's role, if you will. We're doing all the heavy lifting, right? LLC formation, opening up the business banking account. We have an assistant that will work the onboarding of all your members, right? Signing the operating agreement, wiring their funds, in signing the docs. Let me see what I have here. And again, onboarding specialists will do those auto distributions for you. So that was the thing, again, that Jim kind of realized after 10 tribes, managing all the distributions for all the members and all the tribes. Well, now that's turnkey and part of this service. That's a huge value. That's one of the main value pieces and features of this. Document management, customer service. Again, up there with that distribution feature that you're getting with this is the tax K1 creation. So you're going to get a K1 every year from the lead sponsor deal. It's the tribe's responsibility to create K1s for all the members. Well, Tribevest is doing that for you with the Pro Tribe service. And then also dissolution. Again, just pointing out the LFI member is responsible for circulating that. And again, how easy can we make it for you after that? Distribution, registered agent, state filing fee, taxes, dissolution, all included, turnkey package for you. How it'll work. So available to LFI members, okay? Tribe champion finds deal, engages other member interests. So again, LFI member out looking at deals, comes to the LFI community, which they belong to, and starts to socialize the idea of this deal. And when there's enough interest coming to Tribevest, or the champion will request a soft commitment form from Tribevest. So we'll generate a soft commit form that the champion can edit and circulates that form to capture the investor interest. The beauty of that form is that becomes Tribevest list and information that we need to start the cap table and to ultimately onboard all the members. So that soft commitment form is kind of a key part of this. And again, once that tribe champion, that initiator finds the deal and is exploring interest out there, we'll create that soft commit form and give you the ability to edit and circulate it amongst your network. Once the investment commitment levels are reached, champion signs green light documents with Tribevest. So how does Tribevest know that the tribe is ready to go, right? The pro tribe is ready to go. And the answer is it's when the champion, the initiator of the pro tribe, is confident that they have all the commitments they need to do what they need to do. And when they do that, they sign the documents. And once the green light docs are signed, Tribevest will spring into action, kicking off the LLC, bank account, member onboarding, the Tribevest Pro services for onboarding and ongoing services. So that's it. And the timelines don't look all that different than the open tribe. Week 0, again, a lot of responsibility on the tribe champion. We'll create that soft commitment for you. It's your job to fill it. Week 1, Tribevest, again, this is us bringing the action, setting everything up. And in week 2, we're onboarding all the members, sign docs, wire funds. All right. Cool. I'm going to keep going, and then we'll get to Q&A. Or Chad, go ahead.
There was one question that came up that was pertaining to the pro tribe that I thought it'd be worth throwing in. I think, Chris, maybe you may need to define this if I missed this, but I think in your language, Travis, you were saying that the pro tribe was eligible for any deal, and Chris is saying, please define what any deal means with pro tribes. Just some more detail of what's eligible, I'm thinking is what Chris is looking for there.
Yeah, Chris, it's a great, thank you. Thank you for that question. It's a great question. It's an important one. So a couple requirements, and I'll add that to this deck before I send it out. Number one, it needs to be a single investment. Okay. So that's the first requirement. It needs to be a single investment. And by the way, that's why we like, the passive investing into real estate syndication, right? So that's really what this is built for. So number one, it has to be a single investment. And then two, the requirement is it does have to be a real estate syndication. So you wouldn't do this for, say, a short-term rental venture or some type of quad flip or single family flip. So great question. I think the blanket statement here is both open tribes and pro tribes require a single investment into a real estate syndication. So great question.
The example I use to kind of separate the difference of open tribe and pro tribe. Open tribes we're going to have available for people to use on any deal that we're offering through a deal webinar that gets published every week. You get those in our emails. Our good example of when a pro tribe came into play last year was Dave Zook is never going to bring a webinar to us for ATMs. ATMs are very popular and some people wanted to try it out. We ended up with a pro tribe focused on going out and investing in ATMs that allowed people to step in at lower than his minimums and see how it works. But it wasn't done through a webinar, wasn't done through our process. Somebody championed that, wanted to run the tribe and do it. And Tribevest helped us set up that single entity investment towards an asset class that just we weren't doing a webinar around. I always go to that as my example of how these two work independently of one another, if you will. Chris asked whether it could be used for Bitcoin as well. I don't know what your emphasis is on Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, great question. Yeah. So the short answer is no. So open tribes and pro tribes, I think and this is an easy clarification. So we probably should start off with it in terms of, what's eligible. It's really only eligible for syndication investments, and probably we could even narrow that down to the real estate syndications with variations in the different asset classes within that category. So yeah, and that it is important. That's an important piece of this. Again, how can we offer these valuable services in a turnkey way and at these economical levels and prices, right? So, and that's to make sure this is super narrow. And part of that, again, is a single investment into a real estate syndication. Yeah. So great question. Now listen.
The short answer, I think, Travis, is if you have an idea around something that a pro tribe might work for, bring it up and let's talk about it. And we can kind of let you know if it works, if it doesn't work.
There we go. Kind of yeah, so, absolutely. And that's the relationship LFI and Tribevest has. I think, I hope that the audience appreciates kind of what this is, right? What you're seeing is innovation. You're seeing, people that care a lot trying to, create solutions that help people invest more easily and reach their dream of building wealth and passive income. So, that's part of this is you have questions, circulate it, socialize it in LFI.
Please.
Trust me, LFI does not have a problem calling the CEO and asking for me to build things and for our company to build things.
Well, and
And we love it. And we love it.
yeah, it's engagement like Chris of asking these questions that helps us build better products anyway. So we love the engagement. We love people getting involved because we don't always think of everything on the first iteration of these things. So by all means,
Correction.
bring it up.
We never think of everything
That's
on the
fair.
first
That's
iteration.
fair.
Period. Ever in the history of. So, yeah. So, and then I think a good segue here, Chris, is, standard tribes, right? So great opportunity for a standard tribe. Let's not forget, standard tribes make it 10 times easier to form an investor group, pull your group together, sign an operating agreement, open up a document, operating agreement, a bank account, cap table, do distributions, all that. So in that case, that's the broad catch-all. And I don't want that to be diminished, that it is 10 times easier, 10 times less expensive, 10 times more transparent than anything else out there. So, and here you go. I must have planted Chris out there for this. But, just real high level how this works. You gather your tribe, you create your tribe multi-owner vehicle, and then you invest in any asset class out there or any investment. So great timing for that question. And again, Tribevest does that in a very easy way. Real quick introduction. So what you see here, and I thought I had the cool animations, but I threw it all up all at once here. But starting at the top, going down to business processes and then over to legal. So technology is our platform, and that's what we just talked about with the standard tribes. You have all that all in one place, and you can form any type of tribe you want. And we offer really, do it yourself with assistance, and the technology and all the platform and all the back office that you need. And we do that for $348 a year. Everything else is a la carte. So if you need to file your LLC, if you need a registered agent, if you need those things, you can get them through Tribevest or not. But just, for us to pull this all together, it's $348. We're hoping we can keep that as low as it is. But it's a ridiculously inexpensive offering. I think that's what we've learned. It's like not anywhere close. And if you think that's expensive, well, you probably don't need Tribevest, right? I think that's where we've gotten like, oh man, that's so expensive. It's like, well, whatever you're thinking we do, you probably shouldn't. You probably can go do it some other way. But if you're trying to do group investing and you understand what's all in group investing, this is an insane kind of deal. Same thing. And like that's a little bit of our motto as we bring things to market. We like to shock the market. And so as we go kind of down to the right here, this is the pro. This is the pro offering. And the LFI has special pricing here, but our normal pro pricing, starts at $2,000 for less than 10 members, right? And then announcing our legal SPV fund of funds offering. Now, this is only available exclusively through our lead operators, lead sponsored partnerships. We have some of those are partners of LFI too. I think Aspen Funds is one, and a few others here. We should probably kind of specify those. But if you ever kind of wanted to take your knowledge of, being a passive investor, limited partner investor into real estate syndication, as we all know, it takes a lot to get good at that. You have to find the sponsors. You have to, find the deals. LFI helps a ton with that. You also have to understand them. You have to do the due diligence. Well, kind of the next step on a wealth journey would be potentially spinning up a fund-to-fund SPV where you go out and bring some investors in and be able to be you know, appropriately compensated for doing that work. So that's what we're excited about. Again, just a little bit of a tease. I think I'll go back to, let's just end on the LFI offering here. So again, standard DIY offering, flagship staple of Tribevest and LFI, right? Hundreds of tribes are out there that have been spawned from the LFI community. We launched Open Tribes for LFI last year, V1. We're super excited that we're announcing V2 today. Again, this service that gives any member the ability to come in and participate in an open tribe that's already spun up, and just simply submitting your interest and coming along for the ride is pretty sweet. And that's, again, a service exclusively. Nowhere in the world can you get that service other than LFI. And then Pro Tribes, inspired by Open Tribes. This is essentially a way for any LFI member to go out to find any real estate syndication deal, bring it back to LFI, and spin up a Pro Tribe, which, again, the big value props here: ongoing distributions and ongoing K1s. So that's not something you have to worry about once you've closed the deal. Really, once you've closed the deal, it's a little bit cruise control, right? These prices are what they are for now. Okay. So I'm just kind of saying that this is, again, really incredible pricing here. And when you think about the K1s, all the services that come with it, and how we do this is, when you make your, say you're coming in for 20K, right? Well, you would wire in $20,150. That's how it works. And then we, Tribevest, collects that $150 and leaves that $20,000 investment that goes directly to the investment. That's how it works. All right, guys. Don't stop. Do some last questions and answers. How am I doing on time? Oh, hey, man. It's a first for me, Chad.
Real well, real well. Yeah, look at that. I'll give you credit. Any other questions for Travis while we got him on the line here and everything else? Oh, here's one that popped up. I believe some sponsors include direct LFI individual investments and Tribevest sums towards their goal for better terms for LFI and the deal that they may offer. Is there a way in the future to see updates on the thresholds tool? So that's something I mentioned earlier, that's a bell and whistle we'd love to get to. That's a whole nother complicated matter because different operators have different technology, different ways they collect information. We want to get to that point, Chris, at some point in time. We'd love to be able to. It's probably a ways off. We're going to be happy to be able to show where tribes are at this point going forward. That'll be a big win, I think, in our view anyway. Ideally, we'd love to be able to get to some way to show progression towards those overall goals. And we don't have it's not going to be a clean answer to get to that, unfortunately.
Yeah, Chris, thanks for asking that question. Again, I think it shows, you know, how we've learned over the last year, the progression. And that was one of them. We were really trying to solve everything at once. And what we ended up doing was confusing people. And you can imagine, like, it's very confusing. So, you know, there's the minimum threshold to invest. There's a minimum threshold to invest in a tribe. And then there's the community goal to get community threshold, you know, to hit a community threshold, which includes all the investments, direct and through the tribe. And that's really hard. Like, that's really hard to solve for. It's really frustrating because one of the amazing things about being part of LFI is that LFI has this opportunity to reach those kind of community thresholds, but how you track it and how you know if you're on track is man, it's just really, it's a tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
And so in the meantime, just speaking from Tribevest perspective, it was really important to pull out the open tribe and just say, everybody wants to know what is the expectation for the open tribe, and we've done that. And as Chad mentioned, it leaves us some things to work on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you see how our community is. We can't even celebrate the victory today. No, I'm teasing, Chris. I'm teasing. I love it because it does keep us, creating more and getting deeper into the weeds and see what we can get to. That one's just, it's going to be down the road. March on. Perfect. Thanks, Chris. So yeah, any other questions? I know we don't have a ton of people on today, but I think this is great stuff, Travis. I really appreciate you coming on. I appreciate, again, the partnership and the collaboration that we have. To your point, from day one, I mean, you may have been involved before I was in what was going on around here too. But it's really been helpful. I think we always come up with some great solutions, and I think it is very symbiotic. I think it helps both out. That I love the fact that we can partner and come to improvements like these things for everybody's sake, to have win-win situations for it. So thank you as always for the continued work you do with our community as well.
Thanks, Chad. It's a special partnership, really is.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, with that, I think we're probably good unless you've got anything else you want to add, Travis, but thank you for coming on today.
No, thanks everybody again. Just honored to be a part of the community. Appreciate everybody's support, grace, patience, understanding, cheerleading. It's just awesome. So thank you.
Very good. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you attending today.